Everything we once assumed about cosmic visitors just hit a wall, shattering our intellectual safety nets completely.
The intruder we have been monitoring, Comet Atlas, generated a dataset so disturbing that dismissal failed. In this breakdown, I am aggregating every detail from recent viral findings and raw spectral data today.
We must bluntly address the chance that this entity destroys our definitions of asteroid, comet, or structure.
Lock in your focus immediately as we begin with the visual and undeniable evidence found right now.
Next, I will fuse the 12 inconsistencies that refuse to fit a natural model regarding this object.
Dr. Loeb started this fire with a wager. We will confirm off-world technology by the year 2030.
We have orbital mechanics, spectral lines, and theories swinging from boring geology to terrifyingly artificial engineering now. Recent snapshots of Atlas have flooded the feeds, and they possess all traits of history-altering events.
We see crisp amateur footage alongside professional telescope data revealing the body is significantly more luminous today.
This is the exact inverse of how solar wind should behave, according to our current physics models.
Even stranger, a second object appeared nearby, right when it geometrically aligned with Earth and Atlas perfectly.
At that precise moment of alignment, the second object also manifested this rare and impossible anti-tail. Stop and process that two separate entities arriving from opposing vectors triggered the exact same optical anomaly.
That is not just a pretty picture. It is a synchronized behavior begging for a specific cause.
Amidst this visual chaos, a spectral analysis dropped, identifying Atlas as metal-bearing, loaded with heavy metals.
The research team tries to box this into a standard origin story, involving a primitive rocky body.
However, mixing massive cometary exhaust, carbon gas releases, and a solid metallic hull sounds wrong in textbooks.
A standard comet is a fragile ice clump, not a hardened alloy ship spewing gas in space. Here is the physics issue, because when we translate sights into hard math, the awkwardness becomes undeniable.
Giant exhaust plumes need fuel and mass to keep firing if Atlas is merely a few kilometers.
It lacks the raw volume to push out that much gas for this duration without disintegrating completely.
Furthermore, seeing heavy industrial metals does not align with the icy comet blueprint we have always used.
The idea of it crashing into a rocky asteroid fails to explain why debris keeps shooting jets. This brings us to a binary fork in the road, where completely undocumented natural physics are happening.
Option 2 is that artificial mechanisms are dictating its cohesion, its path, and its strange makeup today. The wager and the reality check appear where Dr. Loeb's writing flips the board on science fiction. Loeb argues that hunting for engineered relics is a hypothesis, with metrics we can actually measure now.
He backs this with a timeline, betting we find the smoking gun within this decade right here.
His logic is elegant, since star systems billions of years older than ours are common in space.
If just one culture lasted, and their hardware would eventually drift through our zone at some point soon.
This era marks the turning point with Atlas, the upcoming Rubin Observatory, and the Galileo Project sensors.
Loeb notes that the scientific method demands grit, so you must put the hated theory on desks.
You must let the raw data filter the natural from the engineered, looking at the full facts. 4 primary theories are currently fighting to explain exactly what we are seeing in the deep sky. First is the standard geological model, trying to mash together a history of impacts and melting ice.
Yet this conservative view constantly trips over the details, failing to account for synchronized tail structures now.
The second theory proposes dark cometary physics, suggesting there are separation mechanisms in space rock undiscovered yet.
While scientifically safe, this guess has zero observational proof to back it up at the current moment.
The third angle looks at external triggers like magnetic pockets or gravity wells activating these weird displays.
This would demand a statistically impossible stroke of luck, or invisible energy grids we have not found.
Finally, we arrive at the technological hypothesis, which cleanly answers for the laser-focused jets and timing.
It explains the alloy shell and the structural toughness, but requires us to treat non-human manufacturing.
This final option shouldn't be mocked as fringe madness, but vetted as a valid investigation right now. Nothing extra or hidden, just subjected to the same ruthless testing as any rock or gas cloud.
The lack of raw files and edited public releases create a murky fog around the research today.
This isn't necessarily a grand conspiracy, but it is definitely a toxic habitat for discovery and science.
In a perfect world, agencies would upload full spectral charts and release granular light data for audits.
They should open server doors so private teams can dig and synchronize global telescopes for maximum resolution.
It lets the hive mind of global science solve the hardest riddles regarding data hoarding and statements. The current vibe of data hoarding and public relations statements kills progress and breeds rumors among us.
Science breathes oxygen when ideas are tested, broken, or proven by strangers working alone on the data.
Before we wrap up, remember the full dossier that makes this visitor unique, starting with Anomaly 13.
Anomaly 13 is the impossible aim with a trajectory calculating a surgical arrival at Jupiter's Hill sphere. It grazes the gravitational capture zone by a razor-thin margin, which is a very rare shot. This is statistically like sniping a single grain of sand in Tokyo from the surface of Mars. The massive course correction driven by non-gravitational thrust seems specifically computed to hit this tiny window.
This suggests the body is parking itself at Jupiter's Lagrange point, which is prime real estate there.
Anomaly 12 is the rifle barrel jets showing accuracy that mocks natural spin with tight columns shooting.
These are tight columns of matter shooting with machine-like focus, whereas natural comets are usually messy.
Their spray should be chaotic due to tumbling surfaces, but these streams hold a formation defying physics.
Anomaly 11 is the Phantom engine causing a mysterious push accelerating the object 62,000 miles.
That cannot be blamed on solar wind or gravity, and so this speed boost looks deliberately timed now.
Anomaly 10 is the energy gap because it is putting out too much heat for its size.
It radiates more power than it catches from the sun, with thermal readings higher than simple heating.
Anomaly 9 is the blue shift, a bizarre glow pattern shifting luminosity in ways mechanics do not support.
The light curve implies it is generating power internally, rather than just reflecting starlight from the sun.
If the data screams artificial, then silence is not scientific caution, it is fear of the unknown.
Anomaly 8 is the vector of origin arriving from the exact patch of sky as the signal.
The WOW signal is our strongest candidate for contact, and the odds of this spatial match add layers.
Future tests will be the judge, because spectral analysis can tell a rocket plume from ice.
Thermal scans and polarized light can confirm a metallic hull and watch the future alignments for a signal.
If the geometry repeats, it is a signal, so scan for radio leakage and faint technological hums.
We need visual confirmation because any sharp angles or symmetry ends the game and the debate entirely.
We have reached the moment where astronomy must be brave and precise at once regarding this object.
Atlas is not just a weird rock. It is a data point that breaks our filing system. Atlas, with its growing list of impossibilities, insists we look closely at what is your read now.
Do these synchronized movements prove to you that a new player has entered the system with Atlas?
Drop your best theory below and hit that like button to help Winds of Thought push further. Stay locked in, because this investigation is just beginning to uncover the truth about our cosmic visitors.